What's up, guys? It is officially my birthday. I turned 23 today. My Jordan year. This is my Jordan year, and yeah, I just wanted to use this video to kind of reflect. Um, Throughout the last year, to me, I would say the last year has been like the most difficult, but not difficult in a bad way. I mean, it was difficult. It was a very difficult year, but I do think that because of the pressure, the difficult moments, that's what's pushed me to grow. They do say pressure creates diamonds. You know what I'm saying. So one of the reasons I created this channel is because I basically had enough, bro. I felt like I was just starting to cruise life. I was in uni. At the time, that wasn't going so good. My mind was elsewhere, especially regarding my career. Me as a musician, I want to become a top musician, a worldwide musician, a successful musician. I felt like I was selling myself short just in life, generally. I felt like I was just selling myself short, settling for scraps in all aspects, in terms of my quality of life, in terms of friends, in terms of. I just always felt like I deserved more. This isn't even a new feeling. Like, I've had this intense desire for a certain life since I was a child. Like, this is not. It is nothing new. Like, I think I first started trying to, or making. I first started making, setting the intention to go for it when I was around 14 or 15. That's when I started to have the intention. Like, I set the intention in my head, like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna go for it. You know what I'm saying? I set the intention. I didn't actually start then, but I set the intention to start. That's when the intention. I think that's when I first decided, like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do, and accepted accepted what I wanted to do, pretty much. Okay. Um, I think I did start around 14, 15. I remember I started YouTube. I was doing gaming videos then. I remember I was very consistent. I was doing it every day, and I was doing it every day, and I stopped because GCSEs were coming up, so I had to put that on pause. And once I put that on pause, I just never went back to it. It was, I was focused on the next stage of education, and then the next stage, and then I pretty much got occupied. You know what I'm saying? 2020 though was the year I said to myself, okay, cool. I know what I want to do. I've accepted what I wanted to do. What I want to do. Now it's time for me to start going for it. Especially at that time, it was lockdown. It was lockdown, and I looked at it as the best opportunity. Why? Because everyone was at home. I was like, yes, I should start grinding now. There's a perfect time. Yes. Come out of the lockdown a new man. Blah blah. I wasted that whole year. I remember I tried, and it's so funny because YouTube was always like a thing I wanted to kind of do. I've always wanted to be a musician, but I think I've always loved doing YouTube as well. But I've always had YouTube. YouTube as well. I've always wanted to do it for something, for a purpose, right? Cool. So then I remember I had this camera that I still have today. That my mum bought. You know, it's just it's a little camera. You know, the quality isn't the best, but like I appreciate the fact that my mum got it for me, especially that, given that one, it wasn't a lot of money, but then one, the fact that she even like put money aside to do that. You know what I'm saying? It meant a lot to me. So I remember I had so many days where I told myself, yo, I'm gonna record today. I'm gonna record. I think I already successfully recorded one day out of all the days I told myself I'll record. How about I show you my phone? I remember I recorded the video, I edited it. That video never came out, I never released it. I got cold feet, started doubting myself. And that's in 2020, so bear in mind 2020, this was during when this was quite early in not early in lockdown, but when lockdown happened, it happened before my birthday. So I was 17 then. 17. And I've always just wanted better for my life, for my family's life. I feel like I owe it to my mum especially. You know, for the nicer things in life. I think anyone who grew up in like, especially in the ends, the hood, whatever you want to call it, everyone can relate to the fact. I mean, I feel like you can all relate for just for wanting more. I feel like everyone wants more, but I do think when you grow up in the ends and seeing your parents struggle, your mom struggle, in my case, your mom struggle to make, even just to make ends meet, yeah. You have this, especially as like the son, the oldest son, you're kind of like, okay, cool, I gotta be the one to, you know, change our story, you know what I'm saying? I gotta be the one to break the generational curse, we call it, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've always had that. So I was around 17 at the time. I wasted that whole year. New Year's came along. Again, this year I want to do this year I want to do that. Wasted the whole year. And that kind of went on all the way up until this year. Right? But I do think this year, it hit me differently just off the simple fact that you get tired, bro. Like I remember even last year, I hated New Year. I developed such a, because it became a thing where New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, New Year's in general, just always, it was a day of disappointment for myself. Why? Because the things I intended to achieve for the year that I just passed, I didn't achieve it. And I treat it like birthdays as well. Birthdays is also the same thing, because it's another year of my life, you know what I'm trying to say? I've always been the type of person to reflect on my birthdays, on what I've achieved. Even though I don't think you should necessarily look at age, but I think when I was younger, I thought that by now I would have set it in, everything would have been set in motion by now. I would have thought that by now I would have been poppy, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure, like, I thought that by now I would have been on top of the world, you know what I'm saying? If you told me back then that at 23, I still wouldn't be where I want, you know what I'm saying, want to be, I'll probably be mad disappointed, but I'm not mad about it today. As long as I set the intention and I'm putting things in place, and as long as I have direction, right? The last year was pretty much my breaking point. I had so many times where moments where I just felt like, yo, what is going on? Like, I had moments where I almost like broke down, like you know when mentally you just can't take it. I just started to become so sick of everything, bro. Like everything just made me so, oh my, things that never really annoyed me before just started. You kind of, when you're kind of disappointed in yourself, you kind of become a little bit bitter. You know what I'm saying? And I found myself becoming becoming bitter at times. You know, I found myself easily getting triggered at the most. It could be something so minor, and I'll get triggered. Um, and yeah, man, it just felt like the walls were closing in. Not to even mention I fell out with my guys. We had a big situation. Uh, you know what I'm saying? So it just felt like, yo, what is going on? And it was such a stupid. Anyway, enough of that. So I just started to look. I was like, and I know if you just like you get older, you kind of wonder where the time goes by, especially since post 2020. 5 years. The fact that we're halfway through this decade. I remember it. I remember saying to myself, "Yo, with a new decade, oh my days, what? I'll be 23 halfway through this decade. Here I am, bro. Here I am. Here I am, G. Here I am. You don't. I didn't realize how fast like it will go. You know what I'm saying? You just don't. And when I was young, it never felt like it was going that fast. Like the years, it never felt like it was going that fast. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We're here now. You know what I'm saying? I can't be mad. What am I? You know what I mean? You know, at least I lived another year. You know what I'm saying? I used to be grateful for that. but yeah, this year I just kind of got sick of it. Especially once I finished uni. I was so happy I finished uni. And when you finish uni, now you're in the quote unquote real world. You know what I'm saying? Like now you're no longer in a bubble. You're now okay. It's best to start looking for work or whatever. Cool. One thing uni told me was that what I was in uni for was not what I want to do. That's one thing I know for sure now. Software engineering, although I enjoyed it at a point, doing it as my occupation, everyday life, there's nothing wrong with the job, but for me, no. Sorry. I couldn't even, it was so crazy to me. I didn't know something I used to love so much could become something I just detest. I just became so sick of it in uni. I became so sick of it. And I was like, wow, if I'm becoming sick of it in uni, doing this for the long term, I was like, nah. And what I really want to do, music, I was like, I have to do that, bro. I have to do that. Not even just that. To be honest, if I'm being honest, this channel's for me being honest. So, everyone, you guys can share your thoughts. I'm not gonna filter myself because I don't usually filter myself for this channel. This is a channel for documentation, really, and tracking my progress or whatever, you know. So I keep it raw, I keep it real. I never saw myself, although I was a smart guy, I was always intelligent. I never saw it was always hard for me to picture myself working in the corporate, like it was always hard for me to picture that. I remember, I think what woke up this desire to be a musician. When I was young, my mum had these Michael Jackson DVDs, and I don't know if that's the first. I think that was the first time we watched it. I don't know, but then I remember we watched it. This man, I think this was before he was this before he died. I think this was before he died. I could be wrong. It could be past his death. Um, and I've always liked to dance, and that's always been me. Dance and entertain and whatever, act, whatever, cool. I've always loved doing all that. I remember seeing Michael Jackson. I think that woke it up. That ignited it within me. Like, okay, cool. That's what I want to do. That is what I want to do. And then from that point on, I became a huge fan of Michael Jackson. Right. And then picturing, I remember even when it got to a point where, you're in uni, everyone's saying apply for a job, yeah. Not even just apply for a job, but even when as you're getting older anyway, when they start telling you, for when you get a job, when you get this, when you get that, in my head, it was always, I'm going to be a huge musician, I'm going to be performing, I'm going to be the greatest artist in the world. That was always what I viewed in my head. So, picturing myself, working, I'm keeping it real, no one take offense to this, please. Being quote unquote to me regular, it's not a bad thing to be regular, it's not a bad thing. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But to me, as for what I wanted to do, that wasn't what it was just so hard for me to imagine, like, it's always like that. It's just, do I see myself waking, like, just sitting at my desk, soft coding. I just, although I enjoyed coding, I didn't see myself doing that for a living. You know what I'm saying? Even though I can do it, I know I can do it, but and the money is good as well. Don't get it twisted. The money is good. Coding is software engineering is you know what I'm saying? But it was just like, and I'm not somebody who likes. If it's not something you want to do, I don't think you should do it. I don't care how much you're getting paid. I don't care how much you're getting paid. I don't care if you're getting paid $1 billion a day. If it's something you don't like doing, like you don't enjoy doing, you hate doing it, I don't believe in you. I don't care how much you're getting paid. That's me personally. Just so you guys know what stream of consciousness I'm coming from. So I kind of got to a point where I found myself in a position where it's like, if I really want this life that I say I want, I'm gonna have to go for it. I should stop caring about what the people in my end say. Anyone that I consider like my ops, I should stop caring about what them man will say, what them man will do. They can't do nothing. Even family. Yeah, I got to a point where I got up myself first, honestly. Especially being to the point where I kind of got isolated. People I was once cool with, we kind of went our separate ways. We fell out, wherever the case may be, right? I got to a point where, okay, it's me, like, if I should be able to count on myself. I am with myself 24/7. Every second you're with yourself. Why shouldn't you bet on yourself? Why shouldn't you be confident in yourself? I started asking myself those questions. Why all these doubts and these thoughts that don't serve me? Why? Because if I was friends, if I'm having all these negative thoughts, yeah. If I'm friends with somebody who's telling me all these negative thoughts to me face to face, you won't be cool with them. I won't be cool with them. That won't be someone I call my friend. That won't be someone I hang around with. So why me, myself, who I chill with every day? I am with myself I can't avoid myself. Why should I be having conversations or thoughts that don't benefit me, that don't serve me, that don't depict me in the best way possible? You know what I'm saying? So, and I should be able to counter myself. There's no way I should be doubting myself. I said, there's no way. It just got to a point where I'm like, yo, like, think about it. You have to low key be a hoe for that. I'm not gonna lie. You have to low key be a hoe to not even be able to count on yourself. And I came to terms with that. Like, yo, I'm low key being a hoe right now. That's what's something about me. I'm real with myself. I'm low key being a hoe. Yeah. And if I want to stop being a hoe, I gotta change that. So, you know, that's why I decided this channel. I think I'm 135 days in now. Recording these every day. I'm documenting my journey. I'm 22 years old. This is my Jordan year. I'm gonna go for this goal. I'm gonna become the best, the greatest musician to have ever lived. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I'm gonna be the biggest, the best musician, the most successful musician to have ever lived. And that is a vow, that is a promise, that is a fact. I can't repeat what I've done for the last 5 years. I can't repeat that. And I start to I'm happy. I've started to listen myself think differently. You know, I'm 23 now. It's you have to mature up a little bit. One thing I also want to kind of a goal I have for 23. No, wait. Let me say what I was just saying. One thing I always did, because I ended up running today. This might be a long video. I can't lie. A few days ago, I ended up running into my not a few days. Why am I saying a few days ago? It was just today. Today, I ended up coming across what I wrote for let's say the goals I want to achieve for when I turned 22 last year. I had them on my phone. Well, I wrote them in a notebook, but I took the picture on my phone. So now I was gonna look at. I think I just wanted to look at like if I took a selfie of myself on my birthday last year. So I wanted to like kind of look at how I looked then. You know what I'm saying? Just to see. You know what I'm saying? Then I came across that. I was like, what the flip? And I saw it was a long list of goals of goals I have. And then I thought about it, I was like, I don't think that's an effective thing to do, because once I realized what I feel like what I found myself doing, and I think this is what a lot of people do, but I could be wrong. When New Year's resolution comes, you know, you write in your prayer requests, your goals, your New Year's resolution, you know, all that cool. I'll write this long list of things I want to achieve, I want to get, or I want to become, or whatever, right? And it'll be a long list, like maybe like 20, 15, 20, even 25, let's say 30 max. I think I've even written longer than 30 before, but right. And I'll just never look at it again. I will never look at those goals or those New Year's resolutions again. And I just thought, how do I expect to achieve any of them, to become any of that, to get any of all those whatever? How do I expect to get them when I don't even look back once I've? It's like I've written it, and what do I think is just gonna happen? Like, you have to stay focused to it to some extent if you really want it to manifest. Like, you know, if you really want it to become a thing, if you really want to achieve those things, you have to focus on it. You know what I'm saying? So I did the same thing for this year, except this year I kept it to a minimum. Yeah, a minimum to six. I wrote 6. Yeah, 6 material goals. 6 material goals, so physical, like, material things, like what I want to get, what I want to achieve, what I want to become, all this, all that. And then I had 3 mental goals. I don't think I'm going to disclose them. I think some of them are a bit personal, but I'll let you know if I achieved all of them. Um, Let me see when I achieved all of them next year. um, yeah, and yeah, I just thought about it and I was like, that's not effective at all. I'll just write a whole bunch of stuff and then. So with this one, I think it's best to. I only did 6 material ones, and the way I will go about it, focus on them one at a time. Don't try to divide my attention on one. If I want something, I should put my mind onto that, and that's only for the most part. I should put my mind on that thing that I'm trying to achieve, trying to become, trying to get. That's to me that seems like the most effective way for it to work. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just writing a whole bunch of stuff and never looking back at it. You know what I'm saying? What's something else I wanted to say? Yeah, and yeah, I just you know, and I didn't limit myself. I didn't try to put myself short. I mean, sell myself short. I didn't try to play small. If the goal is a quote unquote big goal, is a big goal or whatever the case may be. Sorry, I'm tired. Sorry. Um, I'm done limiting myself. I am done doubting myself. I should only think in my favor. Another thing I want to talk about. It's not a goal, but one thing I'm definitely going to do this year. The amount of media consumption or entertainment consumption that I like, or let me just say, the amount of media and entertainment that I consume has to reduce severely, in my opinion, because that I feel like is fogging up my mind a little bit, and it's just giving me a whole bunch of unnecessary and irrelevant information for my mind to process. And a lot of those thoughts aren't relevant to me or don't benefit me in any way. Like, why should I give a damn what is going on in pop culture if it doesn't relate to me? There's no point. Like, it's just there taking up space. You know what I'm saying? If I'm just watching endless entertainment, like if I'm just watching all these YouTubers, these streamers, shout out to them. They're doing their thing, and I do enjoy their content. But you gotta put on pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, these are people who are already successful. So at some point, I gotta write my own story. You know, and sorry, I keep checking my phone. So this year, I really want to keep it to a minimum. I want to gain full control of my mind, like full control of my mind to the point where I'm aware and I'm focused on every thought, every emotion, whatever. I want full. I don't want it to be a case where my mind is just wandering and I'm just having thoughts that don't benefit me, thoughts that don't serve me, and it's just running on autopilot. No, I want to have control of my mind. So, you know, the media and entertainment consumption, bring it down, and yeah, man. I think that I've addressed everything I want to address. My sister got me a cake, the cake box. Shout out Cake Box, I don't know if you guys have heard of it. This is my first time actually looking at the cake. I haven't opened it, but you know, here's to 23. Let me open this real quick. Shout out to my sister. Oh, the packaging is different to what I expected it to be. I see it. Here's the cake. And I got myself I thought it would be kind of cool if I thought it would be kind of cool if it's been a while since I even had like a birthday cake, if I'm being honest. But got a candle. You know, here's to 23. Here's to 23, man. Let me move this mic out. Let me move it. Here is to 23. My Jordan year. This year will be the year I break every generational curse, negative cycle, anything that holds me back. This will be the year I break free from it. You know, may God guide me as I make my dreams come true, man. My last birthday being broke.